Welcome, darling Thrivers to Thriver TV, where we talk about quantum tools and understandings to heal for real from narcissistic abuse. All right, so in today's episode, I want to talk to you about the 8 ways that a narcissist can trauma bond you to them. And what I want to do is also hand you the antidotes, the real wise inner truth about these that can help you pull up and out of these trauma bonds. Okay, so if you're new to my channel and you're liking my material, I would love you to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and please share. Let's get this information out there so that we can really get this revolution going of there is a way to heal for real from this, for ourselves, our children, and our planet. Okay, beautiful. So let's get into number 1. The first way that a narcissist can trauma bond you, and this is how it initially happens. You might have heard of the expression love bomb, but what does it really mean? What it means is that a narcissist can position themselves to give you that emotional feeling of, I'm seen, I'm heard, I'm safe, this is what I've been waiting for. So I'm going to give you a really simple example. So let's say you meet a narcissist in a dating way. Okay, you're on a date. And the narcissist may say to you, why are you single? What happened? And you could say something like, well, my previous relationship, he ran off with, another woman, or whatever it is. And the narcissist, if they're interested in you, will lean forward and intently say to you, I can't believe how people could do that. I've always been monogamous. And they'll say other things very intently, looking you straight in the eyes, that seems so believable that you think you've hit pay dirt. You think, oh my gosh, this is what I've been waiting for my whole life. And a narcissist can do it in any walk of life. They could be that neighbor who they suss out what was wrong with you, or what, has hurt you in the past, and pretend to be so attentive, and you come over for, and they'll lend you this and they'll lend you that. And they will do it in friendships. Let's say you've had friendships where you felt not included and not important, and you're the one doing all the work. The narcissist will work that out very quickly and then fill the shoes of that. They will start delivering in spades all the things that you've been missing in a friendship. And they will do it in, say, a work capacity. They will tell you they're the boss that you've always wanted. They will tell you if you are a business owner and you put up a job description, they will come to that and they will tell you everything that you've always wanted. Now, here's the thing about this. The narcissist is never about delivering what you want. They're about connecting to you and getting you to trust them and open the doors so that they can enmesh trauma bond with you, which means no matter what they do, eventually you're going to stay bonded while they are siphoning out and taking your soul, your life force, your resources, your money, whatever they feel entitled to, which is pretty much everything. But how they do that is by absolutely getting you to trust them and let them in very, very quickly. So what we have to understand about love bombing is, if we are going to be adults in our own body and living in a quantum reality of plenty and self-generation, which is all the work that we do in this community to heal and thrive, what will happen is that you take your time with people. You absolutely have the mindset of plenty. I'm going to check you out. I'm going to take my time before I commit to you at any level. And if you're not the real deal, I'll say goodbye, because there is better from where you're coming from. There's an old saying that I love, that hungry people make the worst shoppers. If you go to a supermarket and you're really hungry, you'll just chuck junk in the trolley. So if we do the inner work to get solid and much more whole, if you go to the supermarket and you already feel satiated and full, then you're going to make some really healthy choices in your trolley. I want you to really think about that. It's so important, because narcissists aren't going to change, but we can. That's where our power is. Okay, so number 2 is future faking. So a narcissist will make out that they have exactly the same interests and the same visions for the future. Yes, I want to start a family. Yes, I want this. Yes, I want that. Yes, I see this is where we're going to take the business. Whatever it is. Okay? So you think, oh my gosh, I've met a soulmate. Somebody's on the same track. Somebody loves the same things, who has the same vision for the future. The narcissist, in reality, is an empty void and no self. They don't have an inner being. They don't have a self. They're a false self. And a false self depends on other people's energy and other people's resources to try to be a self. It's kind of like a vampire needs to drink human blood to be alive. The narcissist is the same. So the narcissist isn't interested in the future. And in fact, unconsciously, most narcissists know there's not going to be a future because it's all going to go belly up and they're going to have to recreate everything anyway. So the narcissist is in for the feed. They're in for the feed of your money, your resources, your stuff, your life force, your sex, your body, whatever it is that they can siphon and suck out of you. They're not worried about the future. They don't want happily ever after and the sheepdog and the picket fence and the 2.3 kids. That's actually not what they're after. Those things can happen, but they're not after that. They're after your life force and your soul and stuff. So they'll tell you whatever you want to hear to pretend that they're that person for the future. But here's the trauma bond, like number 1. We get so hooked on, I need this person for that, for myself, for my life force, for my future. So it's very similar to number 1, is that when we heal up in a quantum way and get solid on the inside, we know where we're going, our values, our truth, our unfolding, our expansion is our own. As an individual fractal of source, our higher self, our expression, our truth, that is not dependent on what a certain person is or isn't doing. Your fellow journeyers, the genuine people in your life who are aligned in the same way will come with you. So for example, my lovely partner, Glenn, we had some very serious conversations in our relationship about, and I said to her, you don't need to want what I want. But the truth is, this is where I'm going and this is what I'm doing. And if this is what you want, come with me. And if it's not, I'll have to do it without you because this is the truth of my life. Whereas in the past, with narcissistic and even non-narcissistic people, I would sell out my truth and my values and my soul to either try to convince them when they became the opposite, or to lower myself and hand over my soul and my truth to keep them happy when I wasn't living true to me anyway. And, he is a soulmate. He's a beautiful soul who was on this journey with me. But if he wasn't, I would let go and know there's better from where that came from. That's the Thriver up-level healing that we need to get to not be trauma bonded into somebody who is future faking us. Because a narcissist doesn't want what you want. And they never will. In fact, they will never give you what you want because they don't want unity consciousness. They want superiority, inferiority. They'll pretend it at the start. Then they'll withhold and punish you by giving you what you don't want and not letting you have what you want. All narcissists do it. Number 3, narcissists create dependency. And they do it with gaslighting. And they do it with diminishment. And they do it with devaluing you. And this dependency is done by problem, agitation, solution. So a narcissist, it's part of their superiority trick. So what a narcissist will do is they will tell you, you're not good enough. You don't have the information. You don't have any idea. You don't have the capacity. You don't have the strength. You're not lovable. You don't have integrity. You're no good. Devalue, devalue, devalue. The agitation is as they keep poking the stick at that. A covert narcissist will do it in a passive-aggressive way. An overt narcissist will just do it directly and brutally. But it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. You're losing your sense of your own confidence and self-esteem and your own identity. Your own identity is absolutely compromised. And then what happens with that is the narcissist says, well, I'm the solution. I'm the answer. I'm the one with the answers. I know what I'm doing. I've got the capacity. You're nothing without me. Without me, you wouldn't. And if you don't acquiesce to me and what I tell you to do and the control I have over you, you'll be nothing. You won't survive. You can't live. They all do it. They all do it. And we try to acquiesce our way out of tyranny. We hand over authority to them because we believe they're our authority. And it's part of the narcissistic, I am the king, queen, god of the universe, and you are nothing, and what I say goes. There's no unity consciousness. There's no teamwork there. It's all about them. Now, how do we get our way out of this? How we get our way out of this is to become self-defined, is to do the inner work on ourselves so that we can stand in the self-respect and the self-truth and the self-value, and we can lay boundaries with people and see who is going to respect our voice and our truth, and who wants to do teamwork and solution building and win-win. But until we've come out of our fears of authority, our fears of, if I don't acquiesce, I'm going to be out in the cold, I'm going to have no options, I'm going to have no ability to create. See, narcissists play on that, and they know that, and that's how they hook you in through this trauma bond. And again, like number one and number two, it comes back to the healing of the cells and the development of ourselves to be able to rise up and out of that. In the future, not to fall into it, and even if you are significantly, horrifically going through this now, to be able to stand, create boundaries, and let go of somebody who is absolutely controlling and siphoning you and diminishing you. You cannot acquiesce your way out of tyranny. Doesn't matter what you go along with and what you give into and what you rise up for and how much performing seal you do to try to make this person happy. It is not going to stop until you say no. No more. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4, flipping the script. So originally, the narcissist came into your life and they were, here I am. I'm the person who will never play up on you. I'm the person who's going to go and give you all your business contacts. Okay, I'm the person who is the answer to your prayers. After being ignored all your life, I'm the person who sees you like no other. After being controlled and questioned all your life, I'm the person who trusts you and gives you space. Because that's what you thought you met. It was actually the exact opposite. Because what narcissists do is they hook you in and then the mask will drop. And when the mask starts to drop, the narcissist will actually flip the script and they will start delivering your original wound in vivid technicolor. So let's say, for example, that your thing was monogamy and you've been played up in your past and they pretended they were totally monogamous. What's going to start happening is the narcissist will start looking at other people, will make comments to get you off balance. Oh my God, is he or she interested in that person at work? Are they having an affair? Are they, right? And they'll escalate it. They'll push it and see where your level of boundary is. And then what will happen is, of course, you're triggered, right? And you're going to come at them and you're going to say, well, what's going on with this person at work? And then the narcissist will turn it back on you and say, just because you've been played up on in your past doesn't mean you have to be paranoid. And I'm totally monogamous and you're the crazy one and you need therapy and you need help. That's how it goes. And it is the same with every single thing. So let's say you felt invisible and the narcissist came into your life and they gave you so much attention and presence. And then the narcissist starts going missing. And then you say to them, like, where are you and what are you doing and why don't you care about me anymore? And they'll say, you're actually really insecure and oversensitive and you need to sort this out. I could go on and on and on. With every, you might have a narcissist in your life and you say, look, sexually I was ignored, and they turn on the sex and then they'll start ignoring you. And it's the same thing. And then it's your fault. They flip the script. It's always your fault. All right, how do we get out of this one? Because why is it such a trauma bond, this one? Because you want them to go back to the original person that is the answer to your prayers. What is the truth about this? You're going to be the answer to your own prayers. The narcissist was never the savior of your wounds. The narcissist ends up being the messenger of them. So you cannot change the narcissist, because the more you try to get them to be the savior of your wounds, the more they're going to be the messenger of them, the more they're going to show you the truth of quantum law. So within, so without. You had unhealed trauma that came into the relationship. They pretended to save you from it. You made them your God. Unconsciously, we all did. But they're your destroyer. The only way out of this is to let go of them and come inside and heal our unfinished stuff. And when we do it in a quantum way, then you will be solid and whole and healed into a solid adult in your body, rather than still feeling unconsciously like a broken child trying to get a metaphoric parent do it differently this time. That's the massive shift that will happen with you, which is life-changing. Again, it comes back to inner work. All right, so number 5, how do we get trauma bonded, is a cycle of violence. And this is crazy stuff. A cycle of violence doesn't have to be physical. A cycle of violence is this. You're in a relationship, tension builds, there's the event. Separation happens, either emotionally or literally. You get back together. You feel like you're resolved, and maybe even a honeymoon period, and everything's wonderful. And then tension builds, and then the explosion goes off. Then you separate, then you get back together. Tension builds, explosion. Okay, this is toxic relationships, and these are narcissistic relationships. So what happens with a narcissist is when you do get back together and you feel like everything's great, a narcissist in a period, and you know this, a narcissist in a period of everything's great and we're going really well, there will be an explosion. It doesn't stay like that. A narcissist cannot stand calm, harmony, teamwork, love, peace. They can't. They cannot deal. They need trauma. They need to trigger you. They need your loosh. They need your pain. It's their currency. It's their food. They're a dark soul. They're a no self. They cannot exist in a plane of oneness and unity consciousness. It is disgusting to them because they cannot be superior with you inferior. So that will always happen. The explosion's going to happen. Now, what happens after the explosion is either they take off and discard you, or you pull away to try to salvage yourself. And you often get back together either because you are missing and so trauma bonded to that person, which is going to be my next point. I'm getting there. That's coming up. But what happens is you are so trauma bonded that maybe you get into cognitive dissonance. Oh my God, it's my fault and I haven't taken enough responsibility and this is what I can do and I'm going to try again. Or I'm going to go in there and try and get accountability and so you go back, or you get strong enough to hold out and the narcissist comes back in to love bomb you or trigger you or say something horrible that they know will get to you to pull you back in again to get the control back. And then maybe, you kind of thrash around and work it out and then you think it's all resolved. You go forward, the explosion goes and you find out it was never resolved. It was never a resolution. It was just a cycle of violence. How do we get out of the cycle of violence? By when the separation happens, recognizing that you're in cycles of violence that just get amplified and accelerated and worse. They're toxic relationships. They're all spiraling downwards faster and faster and faster. and that you now need to get the relationship right with yourself so that you are no longer participating in a cycle of violence. Again, as always, it comes back to your own inner healing. You do it in a quantum way, which is what we do through my program, through NARP. You're going to be able to stop breaking no contact and be able to heal yourself up to be the person that you wish to be, participating in evolved relationships, which of course have their problems and their moments, but they evolve upwards into unity, consciousness, and solution together. Complete opposite, which is the relationship I live now with my beautiful partner, and I never used to. But if I hadn't have healed, I wouldn't be able to generate that. Stand for it and create it. Okay, so number 6, how do you get trauma bonded? Saving the sinking ship. Oh my gosh, this is so huge. Narcissists are a mess. They create messes everywhere. They're loose cannons. They're not accountable. They don't play team. They don't give a crap about authority and doing the right thing. They're actually criminal in the way they think and the way they operate. And completely selfish. The ends justifies the means as long as they're getting the goodies. So narcissists create messes in life. Now, most of us who get involved with narcissists are really good, decent, honourable, respectful people who do the right thing, who take more than the fair share of our weight, that hate not doing the right thing. So what happens in narcissistic relationships, you start seeing that the roof is caving in, the bills are piling up, there's messes everywhere, things are going to get absolutely trashed and smashed, and you go into doubling and tripling down to try to save the sinking ship, which allows the narcissist to completely keep being a crazy narcissist, keep you trauma bonded while you try to fix everything, while they are keeping you off balance and taking everything they can get. Narcissists are often setting up bank accounts on the side. They're doing things and creating things you will never know about until you actually find out. Things that you never, ever believed were possible, that this person is fleecing you while you're trying to keep the fires burning and the roof above your head. How do we stop that? Okay, the ship is sinking. The longer you stay on the ship, the more you're going to lose. The most horrific thing you're going to lose is your soul. I promise you, money, wealth, direction, expansion can all be recreated in incredible ways when you go quantum. Don't even worry about that. But what is hard to recreate is the absolute shattering of your soul. That's more difficult than stuff. So I will say this to you: let go, look after your soul, get wholeness and solidness inside. And we do this so much in our community, work with people in the most horrific disasters to get whole, solid and calm, and then go after it, because that's when you get massive results. And for people in our community, when they've turned inwards with NARP and done that inner work, to get also the support from our incredible NARP global community to back them in the solutions, the shifts, the healing processes, plus also the practical aspects walking forward. In our community regularly, we get people with really big, powerful wins in custody and in settlements with properties and businesses because they walk that path. But the people who stay traumatized, trying to save the sinking ship, usually end up losing everything. That's just how it works. Okay, so that's number 6. Number 7 is peptide addiction, which feeds into all of this. Now, what happens is in narcissistic relationships is you are getting massive rushes all the time of negative emotions. So things like betrayal, heartbreak, devastation. You feel like you're being annihilated. You feel so unsafe. You feel, I don't have to tell you, the most shocking emotions that you've ever felt in your life, unthinkable, unbelievable, that are like a sucker punch to your solar plexus that you don't even feel like you can get up and off the ground again. It's that bad. So this is what you are regularly experiencing. Is it fair to say that these emotions have massively powerful charges? Absolutely. Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza, the late Candace Pert. Actually, she was a specialist on peptides. They discovered that what happens is when we have an event in our life, it actually registers in our consciousness before our brain even picks it up. And our consciousness is who we are already. Okay, it's everything from our past up to now is how we perceive and feel an event. We all do it individually. But let's say somebody betrays you and it's very personal to you because you've come from a family where you felt betrayed and you felt unimportant and you felt lined up and you felt like people choose their ego over you and you're unimportant and you've been betrayed and thrown under the bus. It's going to impact you very heavily. So you have a massive emotional feeling on it, which then sends electrical signatures to your brain, electrical signals. Your brain picks that up and your brain then sends a perception of that to your hypothalamus of betrayal. Your hypothalamus then creates, and depending on how powerful the rush was, is how powerful the signal is. And then your hypothalamus creates an amino acid chain peptide, an actual liquid cocktail, if you like a drug of betrayal. And then that is then distributed throughout your whole being, which is your whole cellular bodily structure, and the cells in your body accept the peptide that they're used to getting, because every time a peptide is regularly received and your cells split, you have twice the amount of docking points on that cell to receive that particular peptide. So you literally get hooked on the peptides of the strong emotional rushes that you're getting. So you are geared to accept betrayal as your peptide. Now the cells of your body are getting addicted to it because every time your cells split, you've got twice the amount of docking points that need the fulfillment of betrayal. So therefore you are always going to continually obsess about how this person betrayed you with no solution to let it go, because you are hooked and addicted. You're now a drug addict to the peptide of betrayal. And of course the narcissist is the drug dealer who provides the betrayal, hence why you can't stop breaking no contact, you can't stop going back, and you can't stop thinking about this person. People are stuck in peptide addiction. I've seen them for 40 years. How do we get out of that? It's big. It's a game changer when you realize what's going on, that you're not mental, you're not defective, you're not crazy. You have a physiological peptide addiction. How do we get out of that? Quantum inner healing releases you out of the peptide addiction. It actually gets that signature out of your being, which then stops the chemical being created by your hypothalamus, which stops the rush, which short circuits that whole vicious cycle. And it's really powerful. It works. And it's key for you to go forward. Which leaves us to number 8. This is a massive trauma bond, the inability to leave and to stay away and to move forward. And a lot of people think it's logical. And of course it seems that way. Well, I can't leave because of the kids. Or I can't leave because of this. Or I can't leave because I'm going to lose the house. I can't leave because. But really, it's because of everything I've just spoken about. There are trauma bonds that go way beneath the level of logical consciousness. Anything you read, anything anybody else will tell you, there is a much deeper, more powerful story going on inside your inner being, inside of you. And with most people with narcissistic abuse, it really shocks them, because most of us are really tough, capable, amazing people who've always been able to think and do our way out of stuff. And we've always been able to get up and get on with it, even when other people haven't been as strong. But this time it's different. We think we can't, it's shocking to us, it's stunning to us that we can't just leave, get it through our head, stay away and move forward. And maybe it's because we feel like I can't live without this person. I'm too sick. I'm never going to be able to work. I can't rebuild my life. I have no other options. It might even be I feel really guilty and obligated that I'm meant to stay with this person and I can't just leave them. But at the end of the day, if we stay and we don't break forth and we don't heal and we don't move on, there's no happy endings to this story. It's that descent into that deep, dark hole of losing your soul, your life force, your health, your dreams, your missions, and your ability to lead the way for your future generations. Our kids don't do what we say. They do what we do. And again, how do we change this? How do we turn it around? By going within and doing the work there. Because if we don't go within, we're going to go without. You know, there's a saying, nothing changes if nothing changes. We don't have any power to change a narcissist. We don't have any power to change anybody. You don't have any power to exact change beyond your skin. The only person we can change is ourselves. And that's why my focus is so healing from the inside out. It's quantum. All right, so to discover more, I'm going to put up a link with this video, or a couple of links that you can do to start taking a deeper understanding about what I'm actually talking about. And I hope this has made sense. I really want to hand you your power back so you can get in the driver's seat of your life rather than keeping stuck in these terrible, they are terrible trauma bonds. They destroy your future and they can even literally destroy you. So I hope that this has helped, and I want to send out so much love to everybody who's in trauma bonds. Please share this video far and wide with anybody that you think it can help, who needs to hear a deeper truth about this. And until the next one, keep smiling, keep healing, and keep thriving, because there is nothing else to do. All right, lots of love. Bye-bye.